Hello and welcome to A Yarn Story. I'm Carmen.
And I'm Kayleigh.
And we are here today to chat with you about our general going-ons, what we're wearing, what we're knitting, what we plan on knitting, and we're going to do a little Q&A at the end.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
We haven't done a chatty episode in quite a while.
No, yeah, it's been a lot of really interesting interviews over the last few weeks.
Yes.
Which has been good.
Yes, and I think, there's a cat here.
Sorry, there's a kitten basically running around, so every now and then you might hear she's underneath the couch right now.
Oh, is that? Because I was like, where's the noise coming from? From within.
And it's more than likely that she has a yarn label underneath her. She's obsessed with yarn labels. Like, she actually is fine with yarn, but she just loves the label. So,
You said she has a favorite type of label.
Yes, she does. So, at first it was the Julie Asselin Nurtured.
Oh, yeah.
But lately, this is a very, she's got quite good taste. It's been Garthmore. She's obsessed because I think it's that, you know how they have the metal
grommet?
Yeah. She likes the difference in the texture, and they're quite springy, so when she hits them they kind of run about. But I actually gave her a Walcott Le Garçon one this morning, and she turned her nose up at it. I know. But she does like the normal Walcott yarn.
Okay,
labels,
well,
so.
You have excellent taste. We're filming today in Kayleigh's office.
Mm-hmm.
We're not in the shop because we needed to film during daylight hours.
Yes.
And the shop is open.
So this is a change of scenery for us, but
yeah. Do you want to tell them what's behind us? Because I think they can only see a little tiny bit.
Yeah. Maybe Max can put a picture of what it is. But it's the Rhode Island state flag, and it says Hope, and it has 13 stars around it with an anchor.
Okay.
And basically the 13 stars because there's the 13th state to sign the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, okay.
I think it was the Declaration or the Constitution, one of the two.
Yeah. One of those important documents in U.S. History.
Yeah.
And founding.
And then the hope bit is because it was founded based off of religious persecution, basically, but it was religious persecution between Protestants. It was the Puritans didn't like this Christian guy. Okay. So then he left Massachusetts Bay Colony and went to Rhode Island and founded it.
Okay, well, there you go.
Founded it.
Yeah.
He basically showed up and there were a bunch of Narragansett Indians living there. And he was like, yo, could I live here? And they were like, yeah, sure, why not? Here's some land.
That's exactly how that conversation went.
And then a few years later, he's like, you know how you gave me some land? Can I have some more? And they're like, no.
Rhode Island is the smallest state, or is it Delaware?
Yeah,
Rhode
it's
Island.
the smallest.
Yeah, it's the smallest of the U.S. states.
But it's very densely populated. I think it's the 5th most densely populated state.
Oh, okay. What is the most densely populated state? Do we know?
No. I don't, at least.
I don't know.
Maybe Delaware?
Could be Delaware. It's a pretty tiny state, too.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those on the eastern seaboard are going to be more densely populated than the west coast states.
Definitely. Yes. So those are my Rhode Island. Oh, and state drink is coffee milk.
What's coffee milk?
It's milk with coffee flavoring.
Not actual coffee?
No, coffee flavoring. It's like this syrup that you get.
Sounds worse than instant coffee.
It's actually pretty good, but it is very sweet. It's good as a milkshake. If you put the coffee milk in ice cream and milk.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Next time I'm in Rhode Island, I will give it a try.
Well, if you go to Rhode Island too, you can get what's called an awful at Newport Creamery. Okay. And it's a type of milkshake. Mm-hmm. And their coffee milkshakes are made with this syrup, and it's really good. Okay. It's my favorite.
I'll try anything twice. Yeah.
So yeah. It's interesting. Rhode Island's an interesting place.
Yes. It is. Only driven through there once.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Don't really need to spend any time there.
95 is a big part of the state.
That's a big highway.
Yeah. Anywho.
All right. Well, what are you wearing?
What am I wearing? I am wearing. Yeah, it is kind of covered in cat fur because I was picking up one of the other cats, the white one, earlier. So I am wearing the Weidlinger sweater by. I always forget who it's by.
Emily Green.
No, it's Natalie something. Oh. I'll look it up. But it's a Brooklyn tweed commission pattern. I think I've worn it on here or on a live before. I wear it quite a lot.
Yeah, you do wear it quite a lot. It's a favorite.
It's like a moss stitch pattern. This was actually the first. No, this is the second sweater I knit with a Yarn Story yarn.
Aww.
And I got this during the pandemic, and
it's
it was
Arbor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Arbor, which I love. I actually love Arbor. Arbor is one of those yarns that I feel like when it's in a skein, it doesn't do itself justice, but it just wears so well.
Yeah. I do think that's why. So we used to stock Arbor, but it never sold very well for us. So we had to say goodbye to it. Because it doesn't look or feel like anything special in the skein. I actually think that's like we could do a whole series on underrated yarns.
Yeah, that'd be great.
They somehow in the skein aren't as special as they are when they are knit.
And I feel like a lot of I feel like the tones is like that too. Or not the tones, the one that we just imbue.
Yeah.
That will look like I really need to knit something in that. That's what I would like to knit maybe next, but I've got such a queue of projects.
We'll get to the queues.
Yeah. But I feel like that one too. That one is ridiculously soft.
That's so soft.
So
soft.
And it's merino, so it will drape really nicely. It'll have a really nice drape to it. But the colors in it, I think, will look spectacular once it's knit up. Whereas Loft and Shelter, you can kind of see the specialness because you can see those lovely flecks and everything. But yeah, Arbor and I think they used to have Piri as well, they've discontinued that.
Yeah, we had Piri for a while. That one I didn't actually like to knit with.
Yeah,
I have to admit. I knit a hat in it, and it didn't have like the bounce and give in it that like Arbor does or imbue or like any of the other the things that I love about wool. It felt more like you were knitting with a cotton, which I didn't enjoy. So that one.
But they've discontinued it as well, so
that wasn't my favorite of their yarns. But yeah, Arbor is beautiful.
Yeah.
I have some in my stash still.
Yeah. It's just such a comfy sweater too. Like this is what I wear like if I'm just, around the house or running errands or something. It's just such a really just really cozy, comfy yarn.
I just read my mug.
Yes, that's Sam's dad's work mug because he used to work for Exxon.
Oh, it does have it on both sides. It says, "Don't spill on the duck." So, oil spills are bad. Is the message in my mug.
I guess Exxon gave them to all their employees. That was their intervention.
Sure. I bet the ducks
appreciate it. Yeah.
They were like, "Yeah, don't spill on us." Yeah. What mug do you have?
I've got this lovely hand-thrown mug with a lovely little drawn-on fox. My mom got this for me quite a long time ago. I think 10, 15 years ago.
Aww.
It's my special tea mug.
Yeah, we're having tea today because we love Wolf Wine and they are definitely still our sponsors, but we've been filming a lot more during the day. Yeah. And it's a lot harder to not justify, but I still have things to do after the podcast, so I can't
drive,
or do work. Yeah. So that's why we haven't been drinking wine. It's not like we don't like wine anymore, or wine, but
or we're both pregnant or something.
That is also not true. Just to be really clear, we're not hiding something.
Everybody's gotten pregnant. Every guest you've had.
Okay, how about what I'm wearing?
Yes, what are you wearing?
So, I don't know if I've worn this on the podcast. I also realized that because I filmed a lot of them really far apart, turns out it's my jeans, my denim shirt era.
Oh, yeah. You've been wearing
accidentally, because I didn't realize.
Yeah.
But I realized when I was watching New the other day, and I just filmed an episode with Lisa from This Is Knit, and I was also wearing denim.
Oh, were you? That's so funny.
Not wear denim today. Anyways, this is my ... by...
it is the same person who did the Ranunculus, right?
I don't think it is.
It's not her.
I don't think it's... okay, we're going to look that up.
We're going to look these up.
Yeah. But it's ... and it's the first sweater I knit in Walcott Yarn's Origin. which is a little bit interesting because this is a pattern for worsted weight yarns. It does call for worsted weight, but it's knit on an 8mm needle.
Yeah.
So it's a very...
Oh, it is Midori Hiroshi.
Oh, is it Midori Hiroshi? Okay. It's a very drapey fabric, and I just wanted to like test Origin a bit, and it works really well. It holds up.
This was one of the first ones you did with Origin, right?
It's the first one.
Yeah.
A couple. So the one thing about this pattern, as with a lot of hers, it doesn't really have sizing. Like it has very minimal sizing. So if you look at the pattern on Ravelry, the model has it like off the shoulder.
Yeah.
This is really big, but you cast on the same number of stitches for every size. The sizing doesn't happen until you get to here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It has really interesting construction. So you do short rows across the shoulder.
Oh, that's cool.
Here, and that's where you get
that kind of
You can
it's almost like a raglan-y kind of look, but
but it's not. Yeah. It's like there's increases sort of under my arm here.
Yeah, and you can see them on the back too.
Yeah.
But it creates like a really lovely detail. It creates that almost like raglan effect, but it doesn't go all the way up.
So I do like. I would almost like to knit this one again and figure out for myself how I could just make the neckline bigger. But it was.
I think it's cute though.
Is this the one? No, it's my plum that had no increases. You just increase the needle size across the ribbing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that one I would actually quite like to knit again as well. I should have made the sleeves a bit longer.
I think it's cute though. I love a short sleeve.
Yeah, and it's a little bit like a balloon sleeve. And this one's been getting a lot of wear this year actually.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's really cute on you.
Thanks.
Good color.
But I think I only photographed it on me for the first time last week.
And what color is it?
Oh, it's Hippie Heart. And then I used Walcott Yarn's Opus in gray, 2 strands of it for the detail. I was going to use white.
Yep. And this was before we had Sea Lion, right?
This was before we had Sea Lion. This sweater's old. Not that old, but I was knitting it and the Hippie Heart was coming off on it while I was knitting already. So I was like, that's going to bug me.
Yeah, Hippie Heart is, I think, the one color we have where...
I mean, any of the deep reds, that is just a thing with white. Like, it can bleed a bit, so definitely, like, swatch before you commit. So that's what I did, and I changed it to gray, and I like it. It's cute.
It is cute. Yeah. I really like it.
Thanks.
So the designer of mine is Nadia Stallings.
We do always forget that.
Yes, I don't know why.
It's hard to keep all of the things.
Yeah,
especially the further you are from the knit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
this is now like
5-6
years ago.
Yeah, and this is at least 3.
Yeah.
When did we launch Origin? 2021.
That's crazy. I feel like it was like last year, like in my head.
Yeah, it wasn't really that long. Well, and 5 of the colors aren't that old. Actually,
I know.
But we love it so much. We use it all the time, so it feels like it's older.
Yeah. We have so many jumpers in it now that
we do, and we're gonna have more.
We are.
We can tease that actually. So we have a collection coming out between Walcott Yarns and Erica Knight, the designer. So she has done a 6-piece collection for us. Is it 5 or 6? Like 5, I think. In Walcott Yarns Origin. And it's amazing. Yeah.
It's very exciting.
It's very exciting.
And it looks good on like everybody on the staff.
Yeah. So we have the full collection in the shop at the moment. We've had it photographed. We had another photo session with the team this week.
That was really fun.
So you'll get to see, I mean, it really, like, all the pieces look good on everybody.
Yeah, they do. It's surprising too, because there are some color combinations that I wouldn't have ever thought go together. And then it's also done, like I was saying to Carmen, like it also is interesting because like when that color is next to another color that I haven't paired together, all of a sudden it's like, oh, that color looks really different.
Yes.
And that's so cool. Like that it's interesting seeing a color that you feel like you know so well, but you see it just very differently all of a sudden.
Well, and Erica clearly has like a master grasp on color theory.
Yeah.
I mean, she is so good. And there's color combinations that I wouldn't have put together and is now like my favorite thing in the world.
Exactly. Like everybody wants to knit these sweaters in the colors that Erica put together.
But we are doing some swatching for other colorways because they're not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
No.
But yeah, so that's coming out in January. So we're going to have some more origin sweaters.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yay.
What else has been going on with you? Do you have a PhD update for us? Because I'm sure the people would like to know.
Have we not talked about that?
I don't think so.
I thought maybe we did in the September one, but maybe not. No,
because I came back from holiday and went straight into. I don't think we've filmed one, since,
but no. Yeah, you're probably right.
Like,
but
July.
anyway, I submitted my PhD.
Yay!
And
imagine fireworks.
Yes.
Confetti.
And so it's currently under review because I'm doing a dual PhD between Sheffield and Groningen. My Viva examination thing is a little bit different.
Okay.
Because Sheffield's regulation basically requires you to submit it, and then you have a Viva, and then you respond to comments from your committee.
Oh, okay.
But Groningen doesn't do that. Groningen, basically you submit it to the committee, and then once it's gone to committee, basically you've already passed.
Oh.
So if your supervisors don't think it's ready for committee, then that's the only time you wouldn't have passed. As if they're you submit it to them and they're like, no, and you can't fix it. So right now my supervisors are reading through it.
Okay.
And they're giving me comments. Okay. So that's the Sheffield bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing the comments before the Viva, which is the Dutch Viva.
Okay.
So it's this whole process. But basically, by March, I'm going to have a date for the actual Viva.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So then it will hopefully be done.
Yay!
Well, then it will be done. Because if I get a date for the Viva, I've passed.
Yay! Okay. Yeah. So nothing happens after the Viva?
No. Well, party.
I mean, well, obviously.
Party in the Netherlands that everybody's going to come to wearing their Erica Knight collection.
I love that. Yeah. That does need to happen between all of the yarn festivals I'm already booked on for next
all
year.
The yarn festivals, all the weddings, all of the...
Yeah. Yeah, you have how many weddings to attend next year?
Oh my god, I think we have 6 in our own.
6 plus your own.
Yeah. And I've got 4 hen-dos that I have to go to, including my own.
2025 is...
it's booked up.
It is booked up. Yeah, we have... There's a lot going on amongst the team individually and the shop and the business. Yeah. So.
Yeah. There's a lot.
So at least it's submitted.
Yes, it's submitted, and that was a big weight off my shoulders. It's very exciting, and it's interesting. I do feel I've been talking to. There was actually somebody in the shop the other day, and she was an academic visiting from South Carolina.
Okay.
And we started talking about my PhD and her research, and she was like, oh, I need to look up your research and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, it's not yet done. Well, it is done, but it's not yet published anywhere, blah, blah, blah. And then we were talking about the state of higher education in both countries. But I've actually found myself enjoying those discussions again, rather than being like, oh, I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah. That's a nice space to be in.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot of people on the podcast who have messaged me. You've all been really kind and said how you think what I'm studying is interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll turn it into a book somewhere. I'm going to maybe approach Bloomsbury about it, because a friend of mine had their thesis published with Bloomsbury.
Amazing. So more to come on that.
Yes, we'll see. But otherwise, not much has been going on. Lots of house stuff, kitten stuff.
Yeah.
We got the Christmas tree yesterday.
Yay, Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I don't have there's no Christmas tree this year in my life.
Well, wait, but what about is there a German Christmas tree?
No, because I'm going to Germany to see my cousins for actually I'll be there for 3 weeks for Christmas. And they have a new puppy.
Oh, cute.
So my cousin was like, I just want to tell you we're not doing an indoor Christmas tree this year because we just think it's going to be too stressful, because he's barely 6 months.
Oh,
a big golden retriever.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
Peaches is going to be so jealous.
Well, she's going to be and they're like, oh, we can't wait for her to show up and show him and tell him off, and I was like, yeah, she's gonna love this. She will. I think they'll be great. But it's okay. She can go up the stairs and hide and relax. But yeah, there's no Christmas tree in my life this year. Which is a little sad, but that's okay.
You have to make the most of the outdoor Christmas trees.
Yes. They are putting a Christmas tree outdoors on the patio.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's cute. Yeah,
so
yeah.
It just won't be good. Indoors.
Yeah. We thought that with the kittens, it would be really funny. And they and luckily they haven't like tried to scale the tree. They're really interested in the baubles that they can get to, but the baubles that I got that are down low are like plasticky ones.
Nice. Yeah.
And so they've been able to smack them. And they're very happy about that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that feels like a really big plaything.
Yeah,
them,
exactly. Yeah. They were so funny yesterday when we brought it home. They were just like sniffing it and being like, "Oh my god, what is this? What is going on? What are these humans doing?"
It's a real tree, right?
Yeah, it is a real tree. Yeah,
I thought so.
Yeah.
I get the environmental thing on the real trees, but I don't.
I know.
I don't like a reusable plastic Christmas tree.
I know. They smell so good though too.
I know.
And they are just so pretty.
They are really pretty. There are places you can like sort of rent a tree for Christmas, and then they come take it away and like replant it.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. Like, could I? But I don't know how that works because it's now like a stump. Can you replant that? Can you put that in the thing?
I don't think you can. Like, I think the ones that you can get that are sort of like regenerative come in like a big pot.
Yeah. I think that's right. That's what Sam's mom has.
Yeah. Okay, well what are we actually knitting?
Yes.
Or what have you finished anything recently?
Well, I've got quite a bit to show.
Okay. I have one thing to show. I've actually finished 2 things in the last week, but one of them has already been given away.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look at that. Christmas gift?
No, the Badger and Bloom from our cow, which I was making for Amanda, not for me. And it wasn't blocked yet, but I gave it to her anyways because she's got more space to block it, so I thought you can block that yourself.
Ooh, so this is done?
Yes, it needs
I'll show mine
blocking and sewing up, but
we'll do these first.
Yeah. So I just finished another shift, literally off the needles last night.
Nice. Very moody. Yeah,
this is in Spin Cycle's Nocturne.
Oh, yes.
So they dye their colorways on like a gray base yarn. And we picked these up when we were visiting Spin Cycle's flagship store in the summer, and Danny picked these colors out for himself. So this is going to be his first hand knit.
Nice.
So yeah, I just need to block it and sew it up, put the ends in, but I'll do that tomorrow. And then that is done.
So similarly, Sam picked out a bunch of yarn for her shift. The boys are getting jealous of all the shifts that we knit.
This is really pretty.
Yeah, isn't it pretty? I really like it.
Is that Rusted Rainbow in there?
Yep.
It's a really pretty, like glowy Rusted Rainbow.
Yep. Yeah, the yellow in it's really good. And then it's Bright Idea.
Oh, Bright Idea.
And the Meadows.
Oh.
Yeah, so the Bright Idea is the blue, and this is actually Rusted Rainbow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, isn't that? It's a really like glowy one.
It is very glowy. Yeah. It's very pretty.
Yeah, very pretty Rusted Rainbow.
Do you also want to steal it for yourself? Because I want to steal this one for myself.
Yeah, I mean I do, but I actually have one that has some Rusted Rainbow in it, and so I feel like. And it's got some blues in it.
Yeah.
And that was my like Frankenstein like ends one. And I quite like that one. And I've got another one too. So this is Sam's. Nice. He wanted one that he knew I wasn't going to steal. But doesn't mean that I don't want to steal it. Well, I just have to contain myself. So
I was thinking last night, I think I might need to start a Frankenstein-y one just because I've got lots of little bits.
Yeah.
And I might just do it like potlucky. Literally put it in a bag. Whatever comes out next.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
See what happens.
I really enjoyed doing mine that way. I thought like, oh, this is actually quite fun. And I think I pulled back once because they were very similar all of a sudden, but then there was like 2 rows or something. So, but sometimes that can be really nice.
Yeah.
And effective. Susan has a few like that actually.
Yeah.
Really good that way.
Both of our next level only ones, there's a couple bits where it like fades, but it's cool because it like sort of like disappears and then goes again.
Yeah. But those are fun. Those are fun, definitely. So yeah, this is probably my most recent
Nice.
FO. And then I have this one from earlier, which I don't think I've shown on here.
I don't think so. That is so nice.
So this was Thea Coleman's Smoke Show.
You knit that one really quick.
Yeah. I got this in the sale, actually. We're going to have to bring it back. And let's see if we can get some of the colors to focus on it. Let's see. Hopefully that's doing its job. You can kind of see the more complexity of the yarn there, but it's Julie Aslin's Nurtured in Antlers. Mm-hmm. So it's got like this like purpley and yellows.
Yeah. It's so pretty. That yarn, again,
is so pretty. It's so underrated.
Yeah. So we said goodbye to it.
Yeah.
Even though we were sad about it.
Yeah.
Because we just can't have everything.
No.
And we are a business, and so things
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we do love this yarn. I was obsessed with it for ages. Luna's come up and she's approving of it. And then the other whip I have is my Moby, finally.
Yay!
So I think I talked about this like a year ago.
Well, I think you picked the yarn for that in one of our very first episodes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ooh, and Nova.
Nova's coming too. Hey, Novs. But I started knitting it this time last year. Mm-hmm. And then I put it down to do something, probably a test knit.
Probably. You like to do this?
Yeah. I think it was a test. It was Lily Kate's test knit. And that's literally what I'm going to do again. Lily Kate keeps going out with test knits and I'm like, oh, I need to put something down. So this is the Moby sweater by Petite Knit. And I did it in Garthnor Beacons, in rigging, and Isager silk mohair in 0, I think it was.
E0, yeah.
I think it was just 0.
Was
it might be.
But that one's
E0.
like pinker.
Oh, it probably is easier then. Yeah. But
Beacons I love now we haven't discontinued, but we haven't had it in the shop for a while because they don't have any.
And I was wearing this the other day, and Johnny was there. And he was touching it, and he was like, yeah, it's a really nice yarn I make. we should make some more of that, shouldn't we?
Hey there, Johnny. Yeah. How about you make some more beacons, please, and thank you.
And then everybody can knit one of these.
Yeah. It is such a nice fabric.
Yeah. So soft.
Yeah.
The cats have really liked this one.
It's all about the cats.
I mean, they're big fans of Garthnor.
I mean, that's great. Yeah. The labels and the yarn alike.
Yeah, exactly. I mean...
we're very much hoping Beacons and Porcelli come back properly here shortly. Fingers crossed.
So,
hard to build a mill.
Yeah, it is. But, all in due time.
Yes, all in due time.
So I think that's everything I've recently done.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
I'm trying to think what else I might have actually finished recently. I don't know.
Badger and Bloom, the cowl.
Badger and Bloom, the cowl. I mostly finished my framed, which I showed off in the last episode. I still need to put the little sleeve cap on that. Maybe I'll do that this weekend, and then that's done.
Yeah, that'll be nice. And then
I can wear it. Yeah, because right now it's got just like ends.
Okay, nice.
It's like a sad-looking fringe going out the sleeves. Either you go fringe, full country, or don't. This is just like
poke it out. It's looking a bit sad. It is. That's funny.
Okay, so what do you have on the needles right now?
So I have a few things on the needles, but the first thing I'll show is my test knit that I'm doing for Lily Kate. Yes, I am. Yeah, she did. But I can't show the pattern on the screen. But yes, if you go to her Instagram, you'll see a finished one. So she has shown what it looks like, and it's the checker plate. I think it's called checker plate. Yeah, checker. I sometimes call it copper plate, copper plate calligraphy. Yeah. So it's called the checker plate sweater.
It is pretty. I clocked it on her Instagram the other day. I was like, that's nice.
And it's really cool. I mean, definitely go, because you won't see it as much here because I'm just at the beginning. But you can kind of see it coming together. That's the back. And I just kind of started in the round. So you do it top down. She always has really cool kind of construction for the shoulders. But this is actually a raglan as well.
Oh, nice.
So you're doing a raglan for most of it. And then you'll split it, the arms and then I think it's just in the round after that.
Great.
But it's really actually it's like a traveling stitch kind of cable.
I know how much you love a traveling stitch.
Well, now I'm a pro at it because
it did the associates.
The side by side. That like it actually is quite addictive, and it's easier to follow than it seems. But her inspo for this was the cap of a sewer.
Oh.
So like the design on that
inspiration is literally everywhere.
So like
I can see that actually.
So I thought that was really cool too. But I'm knitting this finally in my nightshades by Harrisville Tweed. Is it Harrisville Tweed or Harrisville Design? Harrisville Design.
Tweed is the
other
Scottish.
One. Oh yeah.
Fabric maker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That is true. Harris Tweed. Yeah. So Harrisville Designs. And I got this at Rhinebeck, not the last Rhinebeck, but the Rhinebeck before.
Yeah.
So the last Rhinebeck I was at, our first Rhinebeck together. And it's in the colorway Fever Dream.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it's really pretty. So I'm really excited to use it. It's such a nice yarn. I've really enjoyed it.
I wonder if I have enough to make that actually.
You might.
Because I don't know what I'm doing with my nightshades.
Yeah.
But I don't really know if I got a sweater quantity. I definitely have from 2023, I think I just got a vest quantity.
Okay.
This year, I might.
Did you get more nightshades this year?
I got 2 more colors this year. Come on.
We really need to carry this yarn.
I know.
We're just going to end up buying it all.
I know. We're working on it. But, because when we were there in 2023 and we were working, we didn't really have time.
No,
I didn't get there till like Sunday at some point.
Yeah.
So this year was the first place we went, and I was like,
I need that. I need that
color I want. I mean, they're all beautiful. Like literally, there isn't a color in that range I wouldn't wear.
Is it Daylight? Is there?
Yes.
One? Yeah, that's really pretty too. Pretty. Yeah.
I'd quite like to do Andrea's new shawl or cowl in that.
Oh yeah,
yarn.
that would be pretty. Yeah.
I know we have some yarn in the shop that we could do it in, but I think that would be really pretty.
Yeah, nice.
Anywho,
the sizing on it's really good too. Really generous kind of sizing throughout.
She does good fit.
Yeah, she does do really good fit. She's such a good designer in terms of fit. She cares so much about it, and she's just got the brain for it. I think that's part of what she likes about it. So.
Yeah. Well, this is also the thing about the Aran collection is it fits.
Yeah, the shoulders are gorgeous on every sweater.
Yeah, like there are some seamed items in it. Some of it isn't in pieces the collection, but it is absolutely worth it.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk more about why seams are important.
Yes, definitely.
When we show off that collection.
Yeah, that'll be so exciting. Yeah, I mean it does. It fits so well, and yeah. We like a fitted sweater.
We do. So the only thing that I officially have on the needles at the moment is some socks.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I have 8 million whips somewhere, but this is the only active.
Oh, those are pretty.
Yeah, it's these are also for Danny. He wanted them for hiking in the summer.
Oh, nice.
Next summer. But it's a skein of BFL. I think it's BFL nylon. From Leg Arsenal, it's one of their sock clubs.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Okay, lovely.
And the thing is, I was doing the cuff, and then he was like, "That's long enough," and I was like, "Really? That seems short." So I'm on the heel flap now.
Yeah, I know. I've done that mistake before. We're thinking like, "Oh, it looks really long" or whatever, and I think we just forget how long our socks are.
Well, I did hold it up.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't want them longer, so
okay. Well, fair enough.
That one's on him.
Yeah. And then,
is that my lipstick I've been? Do you know I've been looking for that for like.
That's so funny.
Since Rhinebeck, actually. I was like, I can't find my lipstick. Yeah. Okay.
That's so funny. So my other thing on my needles, which is bad, it's my Rabinia.
Oh, from the cow.
From the cow.
Nice.
And basically I put it down to do the test knit. And I also put it down to do Sam's cowl because he was complaining that I wasn't knitting it quick enough for him. And he wanted to wear it for this weather, which is fair enough.
Has he worn it yet?
Yes. Yeah. So I put it down for that. So
I like this so much.
I know, right? It's one of those yarns that I feel like none of us really thought like, oh, we could do that. And then I was like, I'll only do the cal if I can use stash yarn.
Yeah. And this also, I mean, Aran More Light just knits up so beautifully.
It is.
That wasn't one of our sort of like go-to choices for Rabinia.
Yeah,
Light.
I think the thing is sometimes with sweaters, well, with patterns in general, we are trying to match the yarn so closely to the one that would use if it's not the same one.
Yeah.
Which is, reasonable for why we do that.
Yeah.
But with the Rabinia Light, I was just thinking that this could be then like a really nice kind, like sort of like this, like you can just throw it on to do errands or like, really sweatshirty.
Yes.
So I think the colors on that are Copper Coast, and then the white one is, I think it's like something. Oh, I don't have any yarn labels anymore because Luna eats them. Well, she doesn't eat them.
Why can't I remember the name of that one either?
White. What is that? I feel like, is it like Isle?
No, that's the gray.
Or white heather.
No, that's the Cumbria color.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah,
it's very nice.
It's the white.
Yeah.
Creamy. Yeah.
That's gonna be really nice.
Yeah, so that'll be really nice to wear.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to finish that. So after the test knit, I'm gonna go back to this. And then
and an
Araconite pattern. Yeah. So that's the next thing on my to knit.
Yeah.
So I guess, is that the next thing, what we want to knit next?
Yeah. So before I get to an Araconite pattern from the collection, I picked up some yarn at Rhinebeck.
Oh, yes.
I picked up Peace Fleece, which is a worsted weight yarn. Susan and I talked about this when we reviewed. It's 75% Navajo Rambouillet and domestic fine wool.
Oh my gosh, that sounds
mohair.
Amazing.
So it's got like a little tiny halo on it. It's got flex.
And is this a Hairspell Designs too?
They spin it.
Oh, okay.
But Peace Fleece, I think, is a separate company. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't totally understand, but it's an Aran weight. And I'm going to do the Pousse Cafe by Thea Coleman.
Oh, yeah, cute.
We were supposed to do a little knit along, New, Susan and I, because we all picked up yarn to do this, and then New just went and made hers in 3 days
I saw
finished
that
already.
New has been churning it out.
She has been churning it out. But it's a nice quick knit, so I'm going to do this before, because the patterns aren't quite ready yet to start knitting. So, yeah.
Oh, that sounds
but
great.
it's going to be, that's going to be the ribbing.
Color. I mean,
and then there's a little pink sort of bit, and then that will be the main color.
So cute. I love it.
Plan. Yeah.
Very good.
So that's next on the needles, and then something from the Araconite collection.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I was thinking about maybe starting a night shift over Christmas, because I have like a stack of Spin Cycle Dream State.
We're going to be twins.
Are we?
That's what I'm doing next.
And I thought, maybe instead of doing another shift cowl, I finally do a worsted weight night shift.
Yep. So this is all my Dream State I've picked up.
Okay.
And there's been a method to me picking it up, not just like, oh, this is a pretty color.
Well, that's a Kayleigh color, and that's a Kayleigh color, and that's a Kayleigh color,
and that's a Kayleigh color.
That's a Kayleigh color. So...
yeah, I think I have too many of those colors for... But, yeah, I mean... That's
Dream World.
Yeah. That was when it was Steve and Penelope's.
Yeah.
And then, so I think what I've decided is I'm going to do that. I think that's what I was going to decide on in the end. But we got stuff to play around with, and I think I might even have another skein somewhere else.
Okay.
So...
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I also thought maybe I'll just do that as like my side project.
Yeah, it's a good one that you can like pick up and put down.
Yes. Well, this has been the thing. I think that's the only reason I got the shift done, is because I could just pick it up, put it down, take it with me, knit a couple rows. It was fine.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling to get like bigger projects done.
Yeah. Exactly. Then I think that's... Oh, and then I'm also, Sam's asked for a blanket.
Oh, okay.
So I picked this up.
Ooh.
So these are actually patterns that they've published on their website, but they put them into a collection. So this is Brooklyn Tweeds knit and crochet blankets.
Yep.
So kind of Jared Flood has put together like loads of their collection.
Compilation.
Yeah, exactly. And then there is like one new, I think it's the one on the cover, pattern of his in here.
Okay.
That is only in the book.
The cabin quilt.
Yeah, so that's the cabin quilt. Which I really like that.
Does Rastus have a pattern in there as well?
Yes, he does.
I think that's pretty new.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think there's like
a couple of new
things in here.
It's like an anthology.
Yeah. That one is Rastus's.
Yeah.
Very Rastus.
Very Rastus.
Yeah, so that's that one. So Sam has basically, I had this yarn to make him a cable jumper.
Right.
But he's now decided he doesn't want a jumper. But I have a shit ton of it. Like I think I have like 1,600 yards.
Oh yeah. Okay. Definitely do a little blanket.
So I'm going to do a blanket, and I'm going to do this one, branching.
Ooh, that's pretty.
There's actually not a great picture in here to see, like, I mean, you can see the design, the design there. And it has 3 different sizes, lap blanket, small throw, and large throw. And I think I'm doing the lap blanket, which is the one that's pictured.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's a big lap blanket.
That is a big lap blanket, yeah.
Like, that's pretty big lap blanket.
That would be really nice.
So I'll probably have to start that, but I've told him, blankets take a long time.
They do. I owe my sister a housewarming blanket from 10 years ago. Yeah. And I know it was 10 years ago because the same year I opened the shop.
That's so funny. And then weren't you going to make it an origin?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have like the yarn wound up.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just haven't started it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sorry, Maya.
So, yeah. So I think that's another thing I need to cast on. And then I've got loads of sweaters I want to cast on as well. I've got some origin to make the Thea Coleman Epernay.
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping to get that done for autumn. Didn't happen.
Next autumn.
Yeah, next autumn.
You got Great Blossom, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same as our shop sample.
Yeah.
That's a good sweater.
Part of me is like, oh, I should have gotten stocked up on like glacial depths and fluff because, you know, not glacial depths,
no,
Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're sold out of Pacific.
Yeah. It's such a good color.
It is such a good color.
Yeah.
This happens.
But this happens. It's such a good color that we're sold out of it.
Yeah, we're sold out of it. And this happens also in like, you know, we're a small production yarn company, and you can't just
be like, oh
call
yeah, I'll
out
get some more
one
of that.
color
Yeah.
like that. So
yeah, that's all right.
That's okay.
So yeah, that's in the queue.
Nice. The other thing that I might try to like whip up is the new Andrew Mary plump cowl.
Oh
thing.
yeah, cute.
She's done the Plumpet Harlow or whatever she's called.
Yeah.
Harlow. Her brioche hat.
Yeah.
I don't want a hat that thick.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of the Harlow hat with shelter.
Oh, that would be
Dream
nice.
State.
Ooh, lovely.
I haven't made myself a new hat this year. So
I need to make a hat too.
Yeah. Although I also have some really nice Prado yarn from last year.
Lovely. That would be good.
Through my stash.
Yeah.
I might do that tomorrow. Possibly. Anyways, but I thought the cowl that goes with the hat.
Oh, nice.
Would be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
And it should go quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, cowl does go quick.
I just need to check. I know I have a couple of skeins of plump.
Like, is it just plump?
Yeah, it's just plump. It's 4 skeins. So 2 and 2. I know I have some plump, like, custom colorways that I picked up along the way. I don't think I have 2 of anything. So what I was thinking is I might do 2 colors and then use, like, Next Level.
Oh, cute.
As, like, the background, maybe.
Okay, that could be fun.
I will see.
Yeah.
Like, if I've, I don't know.
Yeah.
Around with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up this skein of plump.
This
is the Ghost Ranch. When we first got it in, and I was going to do the Boulevard bag by Lily Kate.
Oh, yes.
And I still want to do it actually in this. It's just been on the queue for ages. So I was going to do that, and I think you use like a little bit of a worsted weight for the trim around that, where you put the boning in. Because it's got like, if you get, she actually uses zip ties. She just puts zip ties as the boning.
That's clever.
Yeah, it is really clever. So I was going to use maybe the navy or the gray in navy or the sea lion.
Nice.
Our navy is called navy, right?
No, it's called Wild River.
Wild River, yeah.
So we're going to answer one question because it's kind of a big question today.
Yep.
Someone asked us, what is with all these yarn weights? Or like, what's the difference? Which is something that we answer in the shop all the time.
Yep. Every time I'm in the shop, I explain it to everyone.
Yeah.
And also there's like a lot of differences in language too. Yeah. So like there's terms that have been imported to the UK from the US.
Yeah.
And then there are UK terms that still are the most popular ones over here.
Yes.
And it's like, wait, is that the same? Is it not? What's the difference between soft yarn and 4-ply?
Yeah, and then the Australians have also different names.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
I don't know those ones.
I only know a couple of them. But there is a chart from the Craft Council USA that is sort of standardized. I don't think the UK has one of those, actually.
It's weird, too, because crocheters use, like, numbers a lot of the time, I think.
Yeah, that's all on that chart. We'll put that in here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I should have looked this up beforehand. I want to say there's, like, officially 10 different yarn weights.
Okay.
And when we talk about yarn weight, we don't mean the, like, grammage of the skein. We mean the thickness of the strand.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
if you're ever in the shop and we say, and you're like, oh, I'm looking to do a sweater project, but I don't know what I'm doing. Well, usually the first question we'll ask is like, well, do you have a weight in mind?
Yes.
And that's usually what we're talking about, like the yarn weight, like how thick do you want that jumper to be?
Yeah.
And some, like if I say that and then you look like you have no idea what I just said, I'll then be like, oh, how thick do you want the sweater?
Yes. It's okay to not know the answer to that, right?
Exactly.
So should we start with the thinnest or the thickest yarn?
Let's start with the thickest because I have them here, and then I'll pull up the thinner ones.
So we've got Spin Cycle Yarn's Plump, which is considered a chunky weight or a bulky weight. So those are basically the same thing. There are thicker yarns than this. It's not something we carry in the shop, but you get like super bulkies, and you get like roving arm knitting type yarns. But this is going to be knit on like an 8 to 10 millimeter needle, and is quite thick in its individual strand. Yeah. Yeah. And then we go down to an Aran weight.
Is this Aran?
That's worsted, but I've got Aran over here.
Oh, love it.
So Aran and worsted weight.
A lot of people ask about that.
Yeah. So Aran weight is definitely more popular here in the UK and in Europe, I would say. The piece fleece I have is an Aran weight, and it is 16 stitches over 4 inches, or a US 8 needle. I actually don't know what that is.
US 8 is a 6 millimeter.
6 mil. Yeah. So this is more common here in the UK, but the next one thinner than this is worsted weight. These are not completely interchangeable. Some people think they are. Like, they are not one and the same. Worsted weight is definitely thinner. This is more popular in North America. This is Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. This is a woolen spun worsted weight.
Makes it a bit more floofy.
Yes.
Or airy.
Yeah. But you can see when they're side by side that the strands in this are thicker than the strands in this. And that is going to be knit on a 4.5 to 5.5 millimeter needle, and you're looking at 4 1/4 to 5 stitches per inch. So it is thinner because this would be 4 stitches per inch. So yeah.
So next we would have a DK.
Yep.
Underneath a worsted weight. Not Ghost Ranch. Dream State's actually quite an interesting yarn because if you look at the label, actually I think they took it off. Oh no, it does say worsted weight.
Yeah.
But let's compare those two.
Yeah.
So you can see that on the Dream State, it's slightly thinner than the Shelter. Part of that can be actually the way that it's spun.
Yeah.
So part of it is that this is a worsted spun and this is a woolen spun. So like I said, earlier, like the comment I made about that's going to be a bit more, the Brooklyn tweed is a bit more airy. It's a bit more voluminous.
Mhm.
It will block out actually a little bit
Yeah.
bigger of a gauge than what you would do just straight knitting. Whereas the worsted spun tends to kind of just keep its size pretty well.
It's a rounder profile.
Yeah.
We can answer that question in the future.
But Dream State's an interesting one because actually it's used as a worsted and a DK.
Yeah. This one
kind of sits in the middle.
Yeah, it kind of plays both for both teams.
Yeah. It's a gay yarn.
Yeah. And we love it.
Yeah, we do. But
Aran More Light
is more of a true
DK. But this also, because it's woolen spun, looks very thin, but it blooms because it's a woolen spun.
Yeah. Whereas actually, if we look at,
we have
I have some in here.
Oh yeah, that's Beacons.
Yep.
So this is Garthenor Beacons, which is a DK. And if we put like those two strands next to each other, this is going to get messy here in a second.
That's all right. The cats aren't in here.
Yeah.
So.
Because I've got to put my hand behind there, it won't focus. The orange yarn looks way thinner than this, but that's the difference between a worsted spun and a woolen spun. Even though these are definitely both true DK weight yarns, I think Beacons is a very true.
Yeah,
DK.
Definitely. Yep.
And also, we tend to shorten it to DK. We mean double knitting.
Yeah, which a lot of British people will say the full thing.
Yes.
And in the US, we tend to shorten it to DK.
Yeah.
Because we're cool like that, you know, keeping it hip.
We're lazy.
Yeah. Efficient.
Yeah.
So then we have sport weight.
Sport weight.
So spin cycle dyed in the wool is sport weight. A lot of people in Britain actually don't know what a sport weight is, and it's not a traditionally British term. What we do tend to find here is that if you change it to 5-ply, then that makes sense. But actually 5-ply...
That's Australian.
Yeah. It's like, and it's also too, like, typically the older generation over here knows 5-ply, but they actually, there was like a period where 5-ply just wasn't found anywhere. So sport 5-ply, that's what this is. And sometimes this looks like, so dyed in the wool is also one that you can use sometimes as a fingering weight instead of a sport weight.
The spin cycles aren't the best example of standard gauge, I would say, but they're what we have.
Yep.
And like Walcott Yarn's Opus is a sport weight that we love. It's a really nice weight for baby garments because it's not too thin, not too thick. It's nice in between.
It's nice in between yarn, definitely. So then under that we have 4-ply. Or fingering. I don't know where the word fingering comes from.
I don't know. That's very North American.
Yeah.
Or sock.
Yes.
So
all
sock
of those,
yarn, fingering, and 4-ply yarn are all synonyms.
Yeah. But the thing is that it's interesting because some people will come in and they'll be like, oh, I need a sock yarn. And then I'll show them the sock yarn. And they're like, oh, but I want thicker socks. And I'm like, okay, so you want to make socks, but in a thicker yarn.
Yes. So, well, it's also when people come in and they say, I want a baby yarn.
Yeah.
And
all of this could be for babies.
Yes.
How fancy is your baby?
Let's define what you mean by baby yarn.
Yeah. And usually it's like a shape of a ball.
It's usually
like,
a shape.
It could literally be like any fiber content.
That is so true. That happens quite a lot.
Yeah.
There was, or maybe it still exists in like more commercial yarn, something called like baby yarn.
Yeah.
That people are thinking of. We don't know what that is personally, but we'll help you find a yarn for a baby.
Yep.
Right. So 4-ply
got quite a lot of 4-ply.
Fingering is very versatile. This comes in all sorts of color, shapes, and whatnot.
Oh, here.
There we go. And that's
a variegated one.
Yeah. So we've got Knitting for Olive, Merino at the top, Exmoor sock from John Arbin there in the middle, and then Ritual Dyes sock there at the bottom. Maiden, I think that's called.
Maiden.
So, these should all knit to the same gauge.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's the important thing that we're talking about with weight is like it's about the thickness of the strand, but then it's about like what needles you're going to use with it. Mm-hmm. So you can use this is what I tell people all the time. You can use whatever needles you want on any yarn.
Yes, you can.
But you'll get really weird fabrics.
Yeah, yeah. So I've got Origin on an 8mm here. That's not what's the recommended on that's not the gauge we typically do for a worsted weight. But that doesn't mean I wasn't allowed
to do it.
And it clearly works.
Yeah, exactly. And so when Carmen says these all knit up to the same gauge, it's because they're the same thickness of strand. So on the same needle size, they'll all be you should be getting 26 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
24, 26 probably.
30 stitches on the Exmoor.
Okay.
I'm not very good with my stitches per inch.
And then...
That's not how I keep things in my head. This
one doesn't even say.
28. Yeah, so I think it's
28 to 30.
Yeah.
But also too, what some people mean by sock yarn is that it has nylon in it.
Yeah.
So this is an 80-20 nylon,
Mm-hmm.
merino nylon yarn. So sometimes when people come in, it's not about the weight, it's about the content.
Yeah.
So a lot of what we're doing in the shop is trying to figure out what you mean by certain words.
Because you'd think that the vocabulary is the same, but it is not. And this is definitely sock yarn.
Mm-hmm.
It has no nylon in it.
Yep.
So this is a harder wearing fiber in here that doesn't need nylon.
Yeah, whereas merino does.
Yeah, because merino's too soft. Mm-hmm. It'll just, it's not as hard wearing. So when you go into a yarn shop, be as specific as possible about what you actually want to do with the yarn. That's way more helpful to us than you knowing the terminology for it.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. That's actually not important. But if you say, I want to make hiking socks that I put in my boots, then we'll be like, this one, please, and thank you.
If you want luxury socks, these ones,
yes,
or socks, everyday socks, socks that you're gonna just wear around the house, or you nip out to some errands, or on a day in Rhinebeck or something.
I mean, you could also make socks out of this, slipper socks.
Yep.
So, I mean, you can make anything out of anything.
Yeah.
Do you have any lace weight?
Yep. I got 2 lace weights here. Okay. Is this a lace weight?
That is a lace weight. Yeah. So there's a thing called light fingering / 3-ply.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very popular British yarn.
Yep.
So you get a lot of vintage British knitting patterns.
Is that what that?
This is technically a 3-ply, I think. So you don't get a lot of that anymore. Shibuya Pebble is a 3-ply.
Oh, nice.
Well, that yarn does still exist now, but
it's different.
It's different. Oh, that was one of my favorite yarns ever. So this is Trio by Isager. And you can see, the strand is very thin. This is also a vegetable
yarn.
Not vegetable,
a vegan.
A non-animal fiber.
A vegan yarn? I don't really like that word.
Is not coming to my head at the moment.
Plant-based.
That's not it either, but it is. It's flax, cotton, and bamboo.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is lace weight, which this is a silk mohair
lace weight,
which looks different from a non-silk mohair lace weight.
I don't think I do have it.
Yeah, I don't really have any of that in my stash because it's not something I knit with. Yeah. I have some alpaca 1, but I was going to hold it with the mohair.
I think I have some alpaca 1 as well, but it's downstairs.
So this would be a 2-ply, and then that goes down to a cobweb.
Yeah, which we do not have.
We do not have cobweb yarn, but it's what you would make a wedding shawl in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Slip through the ring.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Are you still making one of those?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
If I do, it'll probably be 2 weeks before the wedding.
And then it'll be a chunky one. It'll not fit through the wedding ring.
Yeah, I would like to. We'll see what the spring brings us and all of my crazy plans.
Yeah, well, you have a lot going on next year.
Yeah. I've been really into reading again too.
Oh,
I've always been into reading, but I'm reading on my Kindle. So I feel like I have to choose between knitting or reading, which is annoying. So I think I need to get more into audiobooks again. But I was reading these fairy fantasy books. Some of you know them. They're the Court of Thorns and Roses series,
Uh-huh.
and they've got like some really spicy scenes in them. And I was like, I can't be in the supermarket and it being like, and then it's just like graphic sex details, and it's like, and I'm just checking out my milk or something. I was like, I can't do that.
No,
So I have to read this book.
Just flew through the window there.
There is
like
a Waitrose bag
thing.
Yeah.
Flew past the window over there. It's very windy today.
It's very windy, yes. So yeah, so that's why I'm not listening to audiobooks right now. There's actual plot to these books. They're not just like sexy books.
It's okay if they are.
But there is some like actual plot. That's why I keep reading them. So,
well, and that also rounds up our yarn weights.
Yep.
We hope that's helpful.
Yes.
Well, I think that is a good note to end on.
Yes.
I think this is the last episode before Christmas.
Yep.
And then we'll be back in the new year with fun things.
Yep. And more surprises
that we don't even know about yet.
Yep.
We've all got surprises though. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share us with your friends, and see you next time.
Yeah. See you next time.